Alright, so this is going to be a demonstration for how to get started with the double exposure photos. So the practice assignment for it. So basically, the first thing I'm gonna have you guys do is just look up portrait photos. So portrait of lady on fire. Huh, it's a funny autocorrection. So you can look up portraits on Google. You can do an image search, and basically you just want to find a picture of a person's head, the shoulders, and just get a good look on their like facial features. So again, my suggestions for choosing a portrait photo is you want to try to find a photo where it doesn't cut the top of the head, and you're still able to see like parts of the shoulder. So like this one here, his shoulders get kind of cut off here. This one's a little bit better though; it gets cut off a little bit though. But in terms of like your practice though, I'm not like super nitpicky on like getting the correct portraits. But at some point though, when we take our own portrait photos, because it's going to be a requirement to take your own portrait photos. You want to make sure to have like a nice picture of like this one's like a really good example of like a portrait. You have like your head here, shoulders, the arms here, but basically nothing's like cut off on the portrait. But that's just something to keep in mind of. But again, for your practice though, you can have a little bit of fun with it. You can I would just like find like a picture of somebody that inspires you, or someone you look up to, or somebody you just want to do like a photo picture of. So I just did Stan Lee for mine. So I just typed in Stan Lee portrait just to find like a picture to use. But if you're not really sure who Stan Lee is though, he's basically the guy that created the Marvel universe. So it started off with like comic books, and then move on to like a lot of the famous movies that you guys watch in the movie theaters. So I did my picture on Stan Lee, and or I'm gonna do mine on Stan Lee, and this is like a really good portrait though. A lot of these are just like the headshots. Some are a little bit of the shoulder, but this is a really good picture here. Now, to download the picture though, it's pretty easy. You just or actually, before we do that, some suggestions I want to make though, in terms of things that you look for in Photoshop, it's better to click on this tool button up here. And so when you click on the tool button, you have like size, colors, usage, right, etc. And you want to click on this one where it's the size, and you'll click on large image. So the nice thing about like doing this search though, this actually narrows it down to have like very high resolution images. So a lot of these pictures, they're very high res to use. So that's like my suggestion though when you begin to start to download the pictures. So I'm actually just gonna go back to this one. This actually is not that high res, but I'm just gonna use it anyways. So to download the picture though, you just right click on the image, save image as, and you just download it in your folder. So I'm gonna just download this double exposure photo, but just make sure to download it in your own pictures, your own folders, and just double check. Just because sometimes the websites might block the picture. And you guys seen this before with like some of the other photos that you used. But if it's like a very pixelated image, like for example this one, if I were to right click on this, save image as, and I were to save it on here, this is a very low res image. Okay, so my suggestion is if you have like an image like this, don't use that image. Okay, so we're gonna use this image here, and I just found some other pictures of like the traditional comic book Avengers, and then the one we mostly know it by is what's happening in the movies. So you want to find like one you're gonna use for like your background, one you're gonna put in the portrait. It's just like the examples we saw before with the student examples. All right, so yeah, just get started with it though. You want to click the image, drag it into Photoshop. So we're just dragging the portrait photo into Photoshop. Alright, so you're going to drag it in here. You're going to be mainly using this quick selection tool. So you may have to click and hold the mouse button, since all you guys have like the newer Photoshop. So they may be selected on this object selection tool. So that one's a little bit confusing to use. I actually like this a little bit better. So click on that. So you have to click and hold the mouse button and change it to this. And basically all you're going to do is just make sure this is on the plus. Your brushes, use the bracket keys just like your regular brush. You can make it big, small. And when I say bracket key, I'm talking about like this key here. Like this one and that one. So that's going to make your brushes big and small. and I'm just going to select the portrait. So, again, this program is very, very sensitive on the selection parts. So I'll just kind of like click some spots. If you click and hold it, it may select the whole thing by accident. Just take your time with it though. You might want to zoom in on certain parts. Just make sure everything is, perfectly clear. Again, this image is pretty low res though, but it does the job though. But you don't have to worry about having like a super high res image for your practice. This is just only practice today. When we take our own photos, you're gonna have like a nicer quality image. And then when you get to like the hair, it's a little bit better to select. I'm doing Command Z to undo that. It's better to select a little bit more of the hair than you need, than not enough. As we're going to be using this tool called the Refine Edge Brush tool. Whoops, it's looking too much. So Command Z to undo. Command Z. Okay. And I can't get these little strands of hair. It's not a big deal if I can't get it. It's very close to blending in the background. So just be careful though, because like some parts though, if they blend too much, it may not pick it up. We're just doing like the best that we can though. Alright, so now I selected my character. Oops. Oh yeah, negative deselects it. So if you select too much of the background like I did here, oops. Okay, there right here, you can use the minus to deselect it. Okay, so get a little bit more of the stem here. So just really take your time though, make that good selection, because the more you spend on this though, the easier it is. Oh, and also another thing too, when you guys choose your portraits, real important. Make sure it's like a portrait where it's very, very easy to cut out. Like this one right here, this one's pretty easy to cut out because you can see like the edges on here. Whereas this one right here though, it might be a little bit harder around here just because the background's blending in with his clothes. So that's going to be important to think about too when you pick out a picture, because obviously you don't want to like have the hair or clothes match with the background, because we're trying to like have the computer cut it out for us. But there's ways of manually cutting it out though. But I want you to try to find like a nice image that has a good contrast between like the person and the background. So that's important to think about. But yeah, moving on to the next step though, you're gonna click on this one that says select and mask. Okay, so select and mask. So this is going to be basically where you can refine the edges of your picture. And you're going to have it look a little bit differently than mine. We'll try to find like how it would look though on yours. But basically it won't be red though. You're going to have like a bunch of things unchecked on here. So just, important, you want to, change these settings first. So, change the view to overlay. With overlay, it's nice though because you can see like the areas that are red. That's basically what's going to be cut out. Click on decontaminate colors. It's going to refine the edges more, and change the output to new layer with layer masking. Click on remember settings so it just automatically uses these settings the next time. But in terms of this part here though, if you wanted to, you could still make selections with the quick selection tool. So if there's any areas you forgot to like select, like for example, let me get a little bit more of this top part here. Oh, it's a little too much. I can get a little bit more of up here. I kind of want to get these little strands of hair. That's why I kind of left it like that. But you can be mainly using this one that says refine edge brush tool. So this is like perfect for like little strands of hair. So if you zoom in close, the little strands of his hairs, that's gonna be like a real pain to really try to cut that out. So this is what this tool is used for. It's to refine the edge basically. So some parts aren't refined perfectly though, so I might have to like manually clean it up later. But I'm just going over the edges of all these parts of just his hair. And you only need to do it for the hair. You can do it for like this part here too. But if it's already cut out perfectly, like right here is perfectly cut out, you don't need to do it for those parts though. But if you were to take time though with like a small brush, that would take forever to get like those little strands of hair. So this is like a really good tool for like hair or fur or anything. After you're done, then you're gonna click OK. And when you click OK, then your picture is perfectly cut out the in the way that you want. So I'm gonna delete this layer because we don't really need it no more. And so I'm actually gonna make my picture a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna use the crop tool. I'm actually gonna make this portrait a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. So that's a nice thing though, you know, we can always make the picture bigger. I'm gonna keep it in the center. And again, I'll probably play around with this a little bit more. But yeah, that's why it's important to have like those shoulders not cut off, because you know we try to expand to make the picture bigger. You don't want to have those shoulders cut off.